السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته يا شباب. راح نكمل معكم تختيم الجاجمنت. بعد ما حققنا بالآخر مكالمة كانت بين صديقنا المحامي اللي مات، كان مع شركة ADDS، شركة تطوير الجرعة أو شيء حق الأدوية، أتوقع أنها طبية، بس خلينا نشوف. ليش أنا ألعبها هذه؟
Over here, Yagami-san.
هذا واحد واحد ثاني. أوكي.
どちらまで行かれますか？そうですか。
اوكي. جابتر
どちらまで行かれる？それでは出発。
I've heard a bit about this place before. But the ADDC, isn't it just one part of a larger organization? If I recall correctly, they call it the Medical Institute. Is that accurate?
Yeah. They own every last inch of this campus.
It's incredible. Even with all these buildings, they're still getting budget to expand from that new drug. So? Is it the same as you remember?
Yeah.
Huh? Don't go too far ahead, Yagami-san!
What are you all shaken up for? Calm down. Just stick with me and you'll be fine. Got that, Yagami?
هذا مشكلة ميت. قاعد يحلم.
Yagami-san! Try not to just ditch me, okay? Is something wrong?
It's just... After 3 years, it still looks the same.
Huh?
Almost like time itself has stopped.
Yagami-san.
Come on. Front desk's over there.
Do you have an appointment, sir?
I don't, sorry. My name is Hoshino, from the Genda Law Office. We're here to talk about a murder that took place in Kamurocho yesterday.
A murder?
A coworker of ours named Shintani. He was the victim.
We have a record that he called this center before he was killed.
قاعد يقول لهم يتكلم عن
We're hoping
الضحية
you
اللي
can
هو
help us track
ثاني.
down exactly who he spoke to.
I'm very sorry, sir, but I can't provide such private information.
Well, could I at least talk to Director Kido instead? He's an old friend of mine. Just let him know Yagami stopped by, to say hello.
I don't think that'll be necessary. Look over there.
Gentlemen, I really don't know what else you want from me. I have nothing more to say. I've told the police all that I know.
الدايركتور مال ADDC.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about all this, Director. Problem is, my partner here won't give it a rest till he sees the scene of the crime. But I'm sure we'll be leaving soon.
That's not what we agreed upon. You know this isn't about how long it takes.
It's 3 years early.
And what about Okubo? I take it he's still not fessed up.
No, not quite as of yet, sir. But we all saw where the body was. Exactly where he said it would be.
Quite true. Not much point in fighting this now. The minister has made it clear that he wants it resolved soon as well. Just look at how much trouble one contractor has caused.
Sorry, which minister? I didn't know about this, sir.
The health minister. It's all his call how much funding we get.
Director, if I may, if you would just direct me to the scene of the crime, I could head over there myself. I'll be out of your hair in no time, I assure you.
I'd rather you didn't wander on your own. So instead, she can show you. Terasawa-kun, these gentlemen here are Shintani-sensei and,
Yagami.
It's a pleasure. I hope I can help you find what you need.
Well, with that, I'll be taking my leave.
Thank you again, Director. Apologies for all the trouble.
This way. I can show you how to get to Waku-san's room.
Who's Waku-san?
The guy who died in his room?
Oh, yeah. And you are... Terasawa-san, huh? Wow, you're young. And a looker to boot.
Can we keep this professional?
Huh?
Nice try, Shintani-sensei.
Not the friendliest girl in town, huh?
We're not exactly welcome guests.
قدرت ألعب يا شباب.
Busted my
صغير
ass to
يعني.
pass the bar. I always figured I'd have my pick of the lady.
Right this way, please. Straight ahead is the ADDC's general ward. Waku-san's room is on the 4th floor. This was the room assigned to Waku-san.
What's down there?
That's the research wing, where they develop all our new drugs.
Oh.
You can't get in without a gold key card, though. Not even I have one.
Gold, huh?
I suppose because it's the heart of the center's operations.
Huh. Sounds like it's a whole nother world back there. Security like that must be a bitch. Come on, Yagami.
Before he died, Waku-san spent most of his time in here.
And when was he admitted?
2 years ago. With Alzheimer's.
Some kind of dementia, right?
Alzheimer's is a neurodegenerative disease that leads to dementia.
تدريس قبل
In
سنتين
fact,
كان
it's the cause
كان
of
في
almost
الزهايمر.
70% of all dementia cases.
هذا هذول يعالجون
So,
الدمنشيا.
they're one and
هذا
the
مرض
same?
هو مرض الغاف أو شيء.
Do what you gotta do, Yagami.
Uh-huh. Hey, has anyone else slept here since Waku-san's death?
Nobody. No,
And Waku-san was missing from his room the morning of the incident, yes?
that's right.
So he was murdered here, then carried out.
I can't say for sure, but it's like...
Hey, the window's sealed shut. There's no way Waku-san could have escaped through here. What the? All the rooms have windows like this, right? It seems like people would notice if something was going on in here.
Well, we only have so many employees in this ward. The halls stay fairly busy, but it's mostly dementia patients moving between appointments.
I see. I wonder how the room looks.
You got all you need from here, yeah?
I think so. You can definitely see what's going on from out here. Shintani-sensei, can you lay on the bed for me?
I guess so. Care to join me, Terasawa-san? What do you got to lose? It was a joke.
So from this vantage point, you can't make out the person's face.
So, was this the colossal waste of time I knew it'd be?
Nope. I got something I'd only get from being here.
Does it matter? It's been days. Case is practically closed. Shinpei Okubo is guilty as hell.
Well, according to him, he's not.
Well, of course that's what he says. Consider the facts, though, man. You want to review the case?
Sure. Let's go over what we know so far.
Whatever you want. All right, here we go. Our victim was the patient staying in this room. At 8:30 a.m. on the morning of the crime, the nurses noticed he was missing. Given Waku's degenerative state, they assumed he was wandering around the hospital somewhere. But after being unable to track him down, hospital staff filed a missing persons report.
Right.
You know what a dementia patient's like, though. Hard to imagine they'd make it outside on their own. The only conclusion then was that somebody must have taken him out of the hospital. After inspecting all the cars that came in and out of the center, they were left with one possible suspect. A laundryman by the name of Shinpei Okubo. It didn't take much prodding for Okubo to confess, burying Waku's body out in the mountains. And lo and behold, 3 months after Waku disappeared, the cops found his body rotting away right where Okubo said it'd be. Cause of death was most likely suffocation, but they still don't know for sure. Any objections to this so far?
Actually, yeah. You're forgetting something.
And what's that?
Okubo-kun insists he didn't kill anyone. All he admits to is dumping the body.
Oh, come on, Yagami. Guy's got a history of assault, and it's on record. Roughed up his girlfriend. Accidentally broke her finger.
Right, but that was over 6 years ago. He was just a kid. Got drunk, made a
And what? It's okay for a kid to hit a woman?
Of course not. But that's not what he's on trial for.
True.
I don't condone what he did. But legally, committing one crime doesn't mean you're guilty of another.
Fine. But what about Okubo's shit? He said he left the center at 10 a.m. after grabbing the sheets from the general ward. Claimed Waku-san's corpse somehow got... Who's gonna believe garbage like that?
If anyone should, it's his lawyers.
We're meeting with Okubo after this, right? You should just be honest with him. Tell him the case is unwinnable.
Are you two done here?
Yep. Can you show us the garage next? The one where Okubo-kun... The service entrance, I think it was. That's the only other place we'll need to seat it.
We'll need to take an elevator down there.
Follow me. Yagami, you're never gonna last if you keep taking cases like this. Criminal suits are a constant test of your conviction, your sense of justice. They don't even pay that well.
Careful who you say that around.
Look, just chill out, okay? Take it from me. I've been around the block way longer than you have. Looks like a regular old garage to me.
You'd make it out with no problem if you put a body into your truck down here. It's quiet.
It is.
Hey, Yagami, check this out. These are the carts they use to collect sheets and linens. Day of the crime, Okubo was all over the hospital with one of these things. Would have been simple for him to sneak a body in there and cart it right out.
Maybe so. Where was Okubo parked on the day of the incident?
Oh, the truck was parked here, with the back facing the elevator.
I see.
That's proof enough that the body was there. When they confronted Okubo, he flat out admitted.
There was evidence that the body was in Okubo's truck. When was Waku-san last seen?
Just before 8 a.m. on the day of the crime.
Yeah, 7:50 to be precise. An ADDC scientist will be testifying to that. He claims he saw him nice and cozy in his bed.
I see. Can we talk to this witness?
I tried to get an appointment, but they shut me down. Said they don't want us interfering with their research anymore.
They're not willing to make an exception this once?
This isn't an issue you want to push, Yagami. Worst case scenario, you get charged with
all right. Anyway, the victim was last seen at 7:50.
That's right. Breakfast is at 8 o'clock, so the patients who can walk on their own gather in the break room. But on the day of his disappearance, 8:30 came and went with no sign of Waku-san.
You thought you'd find him quickly. Didn't exactly turn out that way.
Right.
Got that, Yagami? Here, let's go over some more details. What we know is, Waku was taken out of his room sometime between 7:50 when he was last seen, and 8:30 when everyone noticed he was gone. During that 40-minute span, somebody suffocated Waku and stuffed him into the laundry bin. Nobody suspected there was a body.
خلينا نحطها داخل هذه مالت
And the only clear culprit was
بين
Okubo,
وداع.
the man in charge.
هذا قاعد يشرح قضية وشباب.
To further back this up, DNA evidence from Waku was found in Okubo's truck. Then when the police questioned Okubo, he confessed to burying the body in the mountains of Okutama. 3 months after the crime, Waku's corpse was finally found. With me? This thing's airtight, Yagami. I know you're getting into this, but come on. Just give it up already. You don't have a chance.
Even though Okubo says he's innocent, I promised him we'd do everything we could.
Not my problem. You shouldn't make promises you can't keep.
Fine, then I'll do it alone. You don't have to be involved.
Even if I'm not, the loss will hurt Genda-sensei's reputation.
I'm sorry, but our client says he's innocent. I can't back down from this.
Fine. I'll be in the lobby.
If you like, I could take you to see Waku-san's room again.
You don't mind? That would be great. Not yet. Waka-san was here until the morning of the incident. The window's sealed shut. There's no way I wonder how well you... Yeah,
How long will Okubo-san's sentence be?
Huh?
If he's found guilty, that is.
Probably 10 years, maybe...
And what if he confesses? Would they shorten his sentence?
Well, at the very least, it'd make a better impression that...
But you're still going to push an innocent plea? Even though Okubo-san is the one who'll suffer for it?
If he's really not guilty, he won't have to. But to be perfectly honest, this is my first criminal case.
What?
Civil cases have been a mixed bag for me, too. I've actually lost more than I've won.
Is that so?
Apparently, a smart lawyer would never even consider an... Guess it's a good thing that I'm not so smart then. Because I honestly believe I can win. Terasawa-san, were you close to Okubo-kun?
I spoke to him pretty often, yes. I would see him around the ward all the...
And what did you think of him? Did he seem like the kind of guy who'd do something like that?
I'm sorry. The director told us not to say too much.
Wait! If you know anything that can help, just get in touch, okay? I'll do whatever it takes, but I can't do it alone. Just... Just now, we went to the ADDC. Thought I should have a look at things with my own eyes.
And? How did it go?
There's no chance you walk. You're practically a lost cause.
Hey!
Yagami-sensei, is that what you think?
It's like this, Okubo. You tell me you're innocent, and I'll fight to the end. I really have nothing to lose by helping you out.
It's just like I told you. Whoever did it is framing me.
هذا هو الأوكب كان يسمينه منظف.
Starting at 8 a.m., you went around to each room and gathered the...
Yes. Nobody...
And after that, you covered Waku-san's nose and mouth, suffocated him, and then carted him out in a laundry bin.
That's not true. Waku-san wasn't there when I went into his room. I didn't see him at all that day. You have to believe me.
So when you went down to leave the center at 10 a.m. after gathering the linens, you realized there was a body hidden in the truck.
Yes. That's what happened.
Then, after debating whether or not to report the body, you chose to hide it in the mountains.
I had a criminal assault on my record. I knew the police would have suspected me if I went to them.
Aren't you forgetting the bad blood you had with Waku-san?
Huh?
Bad blood? What are you talking about?
3 days before the murder, Waku-san claimed Okubo-kun here punched him and stole his wallet. They told me all about it at the center.
When did you even ask?
While you were busy chatting up
هذا
Terasawa-chan.
مشتبه قبل لا يموت. هذا مشتبه هذا كوبي دز المي هذا اللي ذبحوه وباقي فلوسه.
Well, Okubo-kun, did you take his wallet or...?
Not quite. They call it delusion. It's a symptom of dementia. You think something's been stolen
هذا واحد
from you,
مرض
then
نفسي
blame the
بعد.
first person you see.
خلاص خرف.
Not the easiest thing to deal with, right? Someone accuses you of theft for no reason. So when Waku-san tried to hit you, you just about hit him back.
But I didn't hit him.
No. You murdered.
I wouldn't kill a man over something like that.
Ah. I wish I could believe. Come on, Okubo-kun. You got a right.
It wasn't me. I swear. Somebody please. You have to believe me. Whoever did this is laughing.
Calm down.
Yagami-sensei.
I do.
Okay. Then next time, come alone.
Fine. I could take a hint. You and Yagami-sensei could...
Hey. You know that nurse, Terasawa-san? It sounded like she was worried about you. Bet you'd have a chance with her once you get out of here.
I don't know. If you'll excuse...
So Shintani just left you hanging, huh? He's gotta learn some damn patience.
Maybe so. But this is my case now.
Huh. Okay.
هذا أنا مكان محامي يا قامي.
Yagami-san. Have you seen Mafia lately?
Where's this coming from?
She's just not that great with men. I suggest you be more assertive.
Right.
You mean that friend of yours? She's got Shintani all said he'd have been nicer to you if he knew you had...
Hey, nothing's official yet, guy. Regardless, keep it on the down low.
Yet? That word says more than... I'll keep my lips...
Mafia-kun's a prosecutor, right? Isn't it kind of taboo for her to date...
Can we not do this?
Either way, guess the Okubo case comes first. We're pleading innocent, yeah?
That's the plan.
What is your plan here? This isn't gonna be an easy win.
Well, I'm working on that. There's one piece of evidence that still bothers me.
Yeah? And what's that?
It's the hospital room the victim was staying in. This is the last place Waku-san was seen before. The window doesn't open, so the only way out is through the door. No one saw him leave, though, even though there are always people in the halls. And the only one who entered the room was Okubo with his laundry.
Hey, I don't want to be a downer, but doesn't that...
That's not my point, though. The evidence I showed you...
That evidence won't win you the case.
What the hell's your problem?
Was that Shintani?
I think so.
Get back here!
That bastard. Oh,
what the hell?
I tried to stop him, but... hey! What?
هذه مرتبته هذه ترى سامي سان مات المستشفى. أتوقع مرتبته والله تشبهها صدق. أتوقع أنها بنت مو ولد.
Hold up! You won't get away. Hold up.
A woman?
Help! Someone help me!
Aren't you Terasawa-san?
Let me go!
Wait. Not on my watch, you son of a bitch!
هذا يدفعون له. هذا اللي تعبان. ما عنده حركات.
Can all lawyers fight?
Did you really need to run away like that? I assume you came to see me.
There was something I wanted to talk to you about, yes.
زي كذا شباب هاي
But
تكسام ما
I wasn't sure if I should. Then that pig-headed friend of yours started shouting, so I...
Okay, but did you have to tase? Not that he didn't have it coming. Anyway, I'm listening if you want it. No matter what it is, I'll keep your secret. Anything you tell me will fall under client's...
Well, you know the witness who last saw Waku-san? Said he saw him sleeping in his bed.
Uh-huh.
Well, that witness is a man by the name of Shono-san. He's one of the scientists at the ADDC. Not only that, but he's the director's right-hand man, too.
And this is him?
هذا الوتد الشاهد قاعد يقول ان الضحية الميت انه كان نايم بسريره.
Yes. He's a very dedicated doctor, so the nurses have a lot of faith in it. But something felt off when I heard what he had to say about the
And what's that?
I guess I'm just skeptical as to whether or not he actually saw... I don't think he's intentionally deceiving us, but he may be mistaken some. And if I had to guess, I'd say the other nurses feel the same.
Still, why hasn't anyone mentioned this until now?
How could we? Nurses talking about a doctor behind his back, that's not something a nurse could do without consequences. And if it came to a courtroom testimony...
None of you would testify?
Maybe the other nurses wouldn't, but I would. I never really fit in over there anyway.
Yeah?
I think Okubo-san is innocent.
Oh, really? Sounds like I've finally gotten...
قالوا انه هذا بريء على متى.
I'm currently employed as a research. Part of our research consists of clinical tests. On the day of the crime, I was making my usual rounds through the ward.
And what time was that?
Around 7:50.
You're sure?
Yes. The patients eat breakfast at precisely 8 o'clock. I always head to the break room myself.
This break room, to be precise?
That's correct. Our more mobile patients walk there for breakfast instead of eating in their own rooms. Then, while the nurses help the patients eat, I ask about how they feel and how the medicine is treated.
And on the day of Waku-san's disappearance, you passed by his room before going to the break room?
Yes.
And in that room, you saw Waku-san lying on the bed?
Yes.
Can you describe the situation to us as you remember it?
The door has a window, so you can see into the room from the hallway.
And this is the room you're referring to, yes?
That's from where I was standing in the hallway. I could see Waku-san lying in bed. He was asleep, with a blanket covering most of his body.
And what time was that?
Around 7:50.
No further questions.
Yagami-sensei, why did you call?
She actually asked to testify. Is that a problem?
Not really, no.
Terasawa-san.
Yes.
And what is your opinion on that testimony?
And as a medical professional, I felt his actions were negligent.
Could I ask you to be a little more specific?
Our witness, Shono-san, claims he saw Waku-san sleeping in his bed during his morning rounds. However, there's no way he could have known that just by looking in from the hallway.
I have evidence supporting Terasawa-san's testimony. Take a look at this, if you would.
And this is?
Well, it's an important piece of evidence, but the truly vital part is what I'm going to show you. Please look at this. It's a photograph of the victim's room as viewed from the hallway. In other words, this is what Shono-san would have seen when he checked in on... Waku-san was already dead when Shono-san went to check on him.
What are you implying?
At the time, the defendant hadn't yet collected the linens, meaning Okubo-san could not have been the murderer.
Assuming that's true, then, why did he go through the trouble of hiding Waku-san's body in his laundry cart?
Huh? Well, depending on how you look at it.
Please. You know this is a court of law, don't you?
Sorry, let me start over. Our witness, Shono-san, claims he saw Waku-san sleeping in his bed during his morning run. However, I'm not convinced that's actually what happened.
Shono shouldn't have been able to see Wick. I have evidence to prove that. She has a knife. There's no way Shono Cloud be check on Wick. There's no way Shono Cloud didn't check Wick on the Bruce. هذا شيء يا شباب.
Take a look at this.
And this is
تجي زمان فيها شباب. هذا يا شباب.
Please look. It's a photograph of the. In other words.
هذا كان باين effect على شيء يلا. اللي قاعد الروم.
Shono-san was lying when he said he saw Waku-san in the... Excuse me? What he saw from the door was likely nothing more than a bulge of sheets. He couldn't have been able to identify it specific, so to claim as much in his testimony seems like quite an exaggeration.
But common sense would dictate otherwise, would it not?
The staff nurses are trained to always enter a room when checking in on a patient. In Waku-san's case, it's impossible to tell anything just by looking in from the hallway. There was actually one time a while back where we thought he was under the covers. And upon re-examining the room, we realized that we had mistaken a bunched-up pillow.
The witness makes an important distinction. The prosecution asserts that Shono-san's testimony is clear, that the victim was taken out of his room at some point between 7:50 and 8:30 in the morning. They claim that because of this time frame, the defendant must have smuggled Waku-san's body out in his laundry bin. But if Shono-san's testimony is invalid, as the defense asserts, we have to consider the possibility that Waku-san was taken in the middle of the night when nobody else was around. After which, the killer could have waited until the morning to plant the body in the defendant's trunk. In other words, the defense establishes that there is reasonable doubt that Okubo-san is the killer, rendering the prosecution's central argument Your Honor, taking this new testimony into account, I'd like to call Shono-san back to the stand for cross-examination. Shono-san.
Yes?
I'll get right to the point. On the day of the crime, what did you see when you looked into Waku-san's room?
I saw Waku-san asleep in his bed, I think.
And did you get a clear look at his face?
I don't remember.
So it's possible that it could have been someone other than Waku-san in that bed. Or maybe even a pillow that you mistook to be Waku-san's body. Isn't that right?
Objection! The defense is leading the witness.
Sustained. Please rephrase the question.
Shono-san, can you say without a doubt that Waku-san was in that bed when you checked on him?
I don't think I can, no.
Then the defense rests. But I do have a quick remark for the prosecution.
Huh?
The charges against my client stem from your assertion that he's the only possible suspect. Assuming the crime took place within the
هذا سأله قاعد يقول أنت شفت الضحية شفت وجهه بوضوح.
قاعد يقول لا.
كان شوي مشتبك قبل شوي.
I would suggest then that you withdraw the charges against my client. With such inconclusive evidence, you'll only be wasting.
The prosecution does not consider the witness's testimony inconclusive. His memory of the incident may be fuzzy, yes, but that doesn't change that he saw the victim.
So, your whole case is based on a fuzzy memory? This promising young man's future is at stake, and you're willing to throw that away on unreliable testimony?
Dr. Shono is a bright and diligent researcher. After watching his own grandmother develop dementia,
He vowed to create a drug that could cure the disease after paying his own way through medical school. He went on to become the head researcher at the AD. Day after day, Dr. Shono visits his sick patients out of the kindness of his heart, leading to his valiant testimony here today. If you want to know whether I trust this man, then my answer is a resounding yes.
In other words, because he's such a great researcher, his testimony is infallible. His own admission that he's not sure is somehow overlooked? Is that the sum of it? Because from here, it sounds like you're putting your faith in Shono-san's title, not his testimony today.
The prosecution is not as easily swayed as you think. And you want to talk reputation? What of your client's history of domestic abuse? 6 years ago, the defendant broke his girlfriend's finger. The poor girl is
قاعد
still
يطلع تاريخ
suffering.
أوكوبي بيتهمونه مو قبل 6 سنين وبنت أنا كان يشرب أو شيء.
Now, fast forward to what occurred a few days prior to the trial. Waku-san, suspecting the defendant of stealing his wallet, lashed out and punched the defendant, given the clearly violent nature of Okubo-san here. That alone would be motivation enough to...
Is something wrong, ma'am? Please remain seated while court is at... Terasawa-san?
Okubo-san is not a violent person. And he hasn't even had a drink in over 6 years. Not a single drop since the incident.
My court will not stand for this commotion.
He didn't blame Waku-san at all. He knew that the outburst was just caused by his dementia. That it was all the sickness's fault. So there was no reason for him to resort to murder.
Terasawa-san, please.
Okubo-san really is an incredible, caring person.
Please leave this courtroom at once.
You're right that he may be hard to approach, but he's a kind soul, and he always keeps his promises. Okubo-san's not the only person in this courtroom who would be affected by a guilty verdict, either. As a matter of fact, it would break my heart.
لا يا هذا تحبه يا ولد.
And even through it all,
والله مجرم تحقيق يا عيال.
he wanted me to keep this a secret, not to tell anyone, not even his lawyer, that we were dating. Even though he knew he could have ended up in prison, making sure I was safe was the only thing in the world he cared about. That's just who he is. But when the prosecution has already decided he's a criminal, how could he possibly be given a fair trial?
Her little outburst wasn't technically admissible, but as the trial dragged on, it hung over the jury like a stone. And in the end, Shinpei Okubo was found not guilty. But only a month after his release, everything changed.
بعد إطلاق. فهذا بعد ما
The same girl who had so bravely proclaimed Okubo's innocence died by the man's own hand.
لقوها ميتة. ما لقوها ميتة هو ذبحها. لقوها ميتة هو ذبحها أوكوبي كي يقولون. ليش؟ ما أدري. ورا شنتان وكنا شباب قبل
Something wrong?
No, it's nothing, Vice Minister. But
I haven't seen you in about 3 years, Kido-san. I see you're still the director.
you look familiar, but I can't quite place the name.
I
seem to recall you looking sharper.
I'm a detective based in Kamurocho now. The name's Yagami.
Ah, I remember now. You're the reason Terasawa-kun's no longer with us. Remember, Shono?
Okubo-san was unstoppable. If only my testimony had been better.
Shono-san, right?
Does it matter? What brings you here anyway?
I'm investigating a murder, and I'll need your cooperation with it. Just like old times.
Yes, I see. Yes. It does seem we received a phone call from this Shintani-san you speak of.
Do you know who he was calling?
Dr. Shono.
The same Shono-san you were just with?
قلت هو كان يسولف مع شنتاني اللي مات محامي، كان يسولف مع شون قبل شوي الدكتور.
Yes. However, it's unclear as to what the point of Shono was away from his desk at the time, you see, and Shintani-san didn't leave a message.
You have no idea what he wanted to talk about?
None. Shono says he doesn't know a Shintani-san, and sees no reason.
Oh, really?
Look, Shono and I co-authored the research paper on AD9. We're quite well known. Sometimes, complete strangers pretend to be close friends or relatives. Perhaps Shintani-san fell into that category.
Have you heard of the mole murders taking place in Kamurocho, Dr. Kido? Shintani was killed in the same way.
I've seen the news.
Can you think of anything tying the ADDC to those murders?
Huh? Look, just what are you implying? Look, I believe we're done here. There's nothing I can help you with.
Please stop! You can't!
Who are you?
Detective Kuroiwa, Kamuro Police, Organized Crime. One of your guests here has information related to the case I'm currently investigating. That would be you, Yagami.
Hmm?
I'd like to speak to you as a material witness to the murder of the lawyer Masamichi Shintani.
Is that so?
يبون يحققون معي يا شباب عشان قتل المحامي. يا ساتر يا ساتر. هذا شابتر 6.
The mole's latest victim was the lawyer.
لا ما نبيها. كوليجون.
I'd like to speak to you as a material witness to the murder of the lawyer Masamichi Shintani.
Is that so?
I'm Hoshino, an attorney at Genda Law Office. Officer, is this interview voluntary?
It is.
It's your call, Yagami-san.
I think I'll pass.
Excuse me?
You have your answer, sir. You can go now.
You can make this easier if you come now. Next time, it won't be voluntary.
Your empty threats don't mean much to a lawyer.
Can you take this elsewhere?
Too bad he's not a lawyer anymore, then. Your friend's nothing now. Just come along quietly. I'll come back with a warrant if I...
I'd like to see you Why do you suspect me, anyway? I bet you don't even have a reason.
I can come up with a few good ones.
Enough! Get the hell out of my...
You'll regret this, Yagami.
Kuroiwa-san. You two, out.
Before we go, can we speak to Shono-san first? We need to know why Shintani called him.
Listen, I already told you he doesn't know. Get it now.
No problem. We'll let you get back to work.
This is really getting out of hand, don't you think? I can't believe that detective thinks you're a material witness.
Yeah. I don't know what he's talking about. But what I'm more interested in is how he even knew where to find me.
That's a good point. How would the police know we were here?
Beats me. For now, let's focus on Shono, though. It would be a waste coming here and not talking to him.
Agreed. Let's see if the receptionist can help us.